Why, Elrond, you really have become a politician.
They're trying to make him a cuck, and he's not. Not even the way this guy plays him is he a cuck.
Down so.
Done with you. Done with you. Done with you. Let's go back to these wonderful little morons. He's not a cuck though, and even the guy playing him doesn't play him as a cuck. So he's actually the best written character so far in this show.
Nobody goes off train and nobody walks alone. We have it.
They try to come up with phrases in the show that are so cringe, and that's one of them. Don't be your own person. Be a loser, like us. Okay. So she basically finds out in this scene that Gil-galad is trying to get rid of her ass and send her back to Valinor, which is not supposed to be a bad thing. Like, no elf is gonna be like, oh yeah, I don't want to go back to that amazing place that we all came from and have a fucking wonderful life with no drama. No, I don't want to do that. And here they try to picture it like a fucking nightmare that this guy is making her go over back to Valinor, to the light. Unbelievable. Skipping this is awful. So she finds that out, and then she looks at it. She looks at the cuck.
And granted passage across
This
the
guy
seas
talks
to
like
dwell
he's
for
bored with
all
himself.
eternity. In the blessed realm, the far west.
There, here it comes. Yeah, there it is. Oh, did I upset you? Why is Elrond dressed like the Hand of the King? Did you notice that? But like in blue. Okay, we're skipping through this. Basically, he apologizes to her. That's a really bad rendition of her brother, who did not die fighting orcs. Well, he died at the hands of Sauron, but what a face. Look at her, look at her face. She's like, you bastard. I mean, I like this idea. It's kind of cute, but I don't think elves would have carved into living trees to make statues, okay? That's not what they do.
My brother gave his life hunting Sauron.
He did not. You made it up.
His task.
You're crazy.
Mine.
No. Okay, they are magically advanced. The concept of the elves is that technology is unnecessary because if you know how to manipulate nature, it's just as good as having an iPhone. It's almost like the Genshin Impact thing, remember, where they put on the little thing in their ear and they have the Akasha terminal and they can answer any question. It's kind of similar to that, but again, not like that. I'm trying to find things that you will understand.
Will you lead more elves?
They're so in tune with nature that, and they are energy. Their bodies are just bodies. They're technically energy beings, so they can make things appear. They can make things happen through nature in ways that we have not discovered nor ever will. So they don't need technology. Why would you need technology if you can make something appear before your eyes, if need be? I don't like the word manipulation because it's not. It's more like nature creation. They're in tune with nature to the point that they can create things.
To convince you.
Are you trying to cry? She looks like she's desperately trying to cry, but she can't.
Land of good.
Yes, you have fought long enough, Galan.
Okay, enough. Let's go. Leave Linden. We're gonna find that they have a outpost, which is like a Roman outpost of elves watching these men that fought on the side of Morgoth. There is nothing giving us any indication that these people would have helped Morgoth. A little bit of elvish racism. This guy, again, this character, I don't mind him. There's no reason why elves would be down here. Elves did not keep outposts against men. But I don't hate this guy, how this actor portrays him. I feel he's a good actor. I feel he's doing actually a better job of being an elf than a lot of the other actors are.
Just discussing.
No. It was but poison grass.
But he also feels more like a he feels more like a Vulcan from Star Trek than he feels like an elf. He's got the Vulcan ears, and he's very like non-emotional, even though he's got emotions buried deep. He's playing it like a Vulcan, so it's kind of funny.
Where was he from?
But nonetheless, I like the guy,
And what day was he hit?
Oh, let
even though he
it
doesn't
go,
exist.
Knight.
And then like the poor excuse of a love interest, which again, I mean, controversial for elves. Happened. You can count on your fingers how many times that even happened. Are elves emotional or more controlled? They're emotional and proud about things that matter to them. And the things that matter to them are not the same things that matter to human beings. So for him to feel for this girl, there would have to be something about her that reminds him of nature or reminds him of the trees of Valinor, or something that is essential music. Maybe if she was a singer, if she had a beautiful voice and she sang about Varda, something like that would make sense. But of course they don't give us that. They don't give us anything. They just give us boobs. So fail. So again, as a fantasy story, I'm enjoying it. It's fairly enjoyable as a fantasy story. It's not enjoyable as Tolkien. I just can't take it seriously. It's not consistent. That's all. It's just not consistent. So they find out here that Gil-galad has said. They find out that Gil-galad has said that we're no longer chasing Sauron. Another thing that never happened. So they're going to dismantle the outpost, or disband the outpost, whatever you want to call it. And so the only reason this matters is because Erondir obviously has an affection for that girl now. And he wants to go tell her that he's going to have to leave. I mean, that was always a thing. But it wasn't like outright racism. It's just like, you can't trust them. And he's basically telling him, don't fall for that girl, because these people are evil no matter what. What do we got? This boy, he's the son of that woman. It's unclear. The father's gone. I think the only reason he exists is they're trying to suggest that he's going to become one of the Nazgul in the future, which seems a really odd choice. So he's coming over to tell her that he's gonna have to leave and that he cares about her. She's awful. She doesn't give him anything. Look at that. He's like, no, this is something really bad. Do we understand why this is happening? No. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. But it basically is the reason why the elf is going in that direction, to this town that used to be her hometown. And this scene only exists to show that this kid has like a sword piece. We don't know how he got this. We don't know why he has this. We don't know. It doesn't exist in any of the books. So they're trying to make it look like he wants to get rid of her. If he knows that Sauron is not gone, the last thing there's no reason for him to want to get rid of Galadriel. There's absolutely no reason. Nor is there any reason for her to be on that ship, because she's not a warrior.
When friendship and
Galadriel sails to the sunset. You and I must look to the new sunrise.
Again, agenda. Elves would never say that. Elves were about eternity. They would want to preserve everything that came from the ancient days to the future, no matter what. They would never talk about new sunrise and change. There are things that are happening out of time and place here. When you look at the timeline, and I looked at it again over the weekend, and there's so much that I don't even know where to begin. So we're just gonna have to go through it. But Elrond is not involved with the making of the rings. He only goes to Eregion at one point, and but at this point, Sauron is already, when the rings are being made, it's because Sauron came up with it, and because he befriended Celebrimbor and the elves in Eregion. So they think he's one of them, or they think he's a Maiar, I'm assuming. So this doesn't make any sense in context either. Celebrimbor is also a very important character. He's a grandson of Feanor. He's the son of I believe, Curufin, one of the sons of Feanor. So he's pretty ancient, pretty important. And they depict him as an old fart. Not to mention that we've seen this character now in the Shadows of Mordor and Shadows of War video games, and he looked way cooler in those than this. This guy kind of looks like him. I don't know if it's the same old fart. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same actor. He kind of does look like the elf in the video game, but he didn't have the short hair, and he had a crown. He looked way cooler in the game. None of it makes sense. This has always been something that if you do this, you've achieved your purpose in life, you know? They try to sing. I like that concept. Oh, wait, this is supposed to be that moment where her brother told her the secret.
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot?
Because the stone is heavy. This is interesting. I do like this concept. This is the only thing that I kind of do like.
But sometimes the lights shine just as brightly reflected in the water as they do in the sky. How am I to know which lights to follow?
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
I mean, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Probably the only good cinematic moment. The only thing that I like is this. Look at that. Okay. That's it.